We've deferred all season long. We've won the toss every.
Hello and welcome to Humboldt as we are getting ready for the kickoff between the undefeated Humboldt Cubs and the Osage City Indians. Zoe Lopez on play-by-play, David Hart on color commentary. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Friday night football weather here in Humboldt. And David, this is going to be quite the matchup.
Yeah, this is the matchup everybody in Humboldt's been waiting for, and I'm sure on the Osage City side it's the same. They're still filing in on the other side of the stadium. Tons of people just ready to see some good football tonight. Both teams have seen a lot of blowouts this year, and don't think we're going to get one of them tonight.
No, let's talk about Humboldt last week. They started out very sluggish in that first half, very close ball game against Wellsville, and then second half they turned it on, improving themselves to a 9-0 record, first time in school history.
Yeah, they didn't play their best football last week. Played probably the same type of caliber team they've been facing, but they had a lot of penalties, and on defense they just didn't play sound assignment football. I believe in this game they're going to have to start hot. I mean, whatever team that comes out hot to begin with is probably going to win this football game.
All right, so here we go. We've got two Osage Indians back, ready for the kickoff. And they're coming up to around the 20-yard line, so they're expecting a bit of a pooch kick.
Well, that's what Humboldt's done all year long. They kick more onside kicks than any other team, probably.
And
that could be the first turnover of the game.
Going
I can't tell. Looks like
to...
Tucker fell on it.
It is!
But
Cubs!
I haven't seen a signal yet. Nope.
No, the officials rule it as a loss on the play. Had me confused because I really thought...
Tucker Hurst came out of that pile with the football, but there wasn't no question, and I don't see a lot of coaches yelling, so we got third down and long here. Oh, and he drops the pass. That would have been a first down. This will be the first time this year that the Cubs defense has had to really play the pass, as in this quarterback can throw deep.
Yep.
And he's got the receivers to do it. But what they've run 3 out of the 4 pass plays is comeback patterns. So the receivers or the corners are really going to have to be on their toes tonight. They're lined up to punt here.
To be a question as far as how Osage City would match up with, because so far this season, Humboldt has had no problem at all dominating that line. 1st and 10, ball spotted at the Humboldt 38. T-wing set, and quarterback's on a roll out to his left, throws it, has a man, and the tight end slips right through his fingers, as intended for Tucker Hurst. So to bring up second down.
That's the only thing I've seen negative with Dagan Goodner's passing game so far this year is I think he's a little too quick to get rid of the ball. He feels a little bit of pressure, and he just throws it out there. And this is his first season playing the position. He's been a fullback his whole career until the senior year he was asked to be the signal caller.
Second down and 10. And look at that turn go. There's Haviland again. You had to block, and there's a penalty on the play. This one's going to be coming back for what should be a 20-yard gain. Will be wiped out.
Yeah, I've seen 2 different holding on that play. Referee definitely caught one of them. And the man got beat. And so he did what instincts told him to do, and that's to grab a hold of the guy. But what I've noticed here is Osage City's putting eight men in the box. They've got their safeties down. I was trying to look because there were some little guys on the outside of the defensive front, and they're coming down from on top of the defense.
So that'll back Humboldt up to around the 28-yard line. 9:17 to go. No score first quarter of this regional round of football playoffs. I don't know. Do you call this the second round? It's kind of like the NCAA, like the play-in games or
last year's third round is what it feels like to me. But, yeah, this year it's the second round. They call it the regional round. But instead of first and down across midfield, they're second and long, still back in their own territory.
Shotgun set is Goodner. Looks to his right, passes it, and good open field tackle made by Osage City's Trenton Plinsky. Plinsky, we call his name quite a bit already.
Yeah, and we will continue all year or all game long. He's accountable for probably 75-80% of his team's offense, and I believe he's an all-league defensive player for the Indians of Osage City.
Now third down and Iola for the Cubs.
Wrong way. They're going towards Chanute.
Oh, Chanute. Okay, third down in Chanute. Now the Cubs, they took a long time looking there. Coach Wyrick, excuse me. Goodner rolls out. He's going to keep it himself. Tried to go up the gut, but that defense, they were not tricked at all. Staying at home for the Indians was Dane Whalen and Brian Bailey. Both just jumped right on him. They like a trap that was sprung.
Yeah, and that's a big play for Humboldt. They like to run the option, and Osage City was all over that.
That drive stalls out due to the holding penalty, and now fourth down. Indians send one man back. Good snap. Punt on the way. Oh, this is booming.
Nice punt.
I could feel that one in my chest. And fair caught it around the 30-yard line. Hey, we want to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. They include Johnson & Schoenger PA helped us bring the volleyball games there in Uniontown. Also, Farm City Days in Iola, who had a fantastic Farm City Days this year. If you didn't go, you missed out. And also, we would like to thank Merle Kelly Ford in Chanute. Brings up first and 10 for the Indians. So both teams' opening drives stall out with a punt. Pair of first downs and not much thereafter.
Be interesting to see what Osage City does if they try to go to the run game. They threw quite a bit that first possession.
First and 10, ball at the 30, and a false start penalty will come in from the back judge. 7:33 to go, first quarter.
That was Tucker Hurst's only fourth punt this season. 10th game of the year, fourth punt. And that was the best one of the season, too. That was really high. No return on that.
Score update, St. Paul 52. And they have Center Lost Springs. They're up 52-20. St. Paul is with 9 seconds left in the second quarter.
Would they start at 4 o'clock?
Close. After the false start penalty, first and 15, and another one. Miscommunication. We'll back him up. 10.
Tucker Hurst was not going to let him go. Coleman had him, and several times this year, Coleman's had the quarterback and has let go, and he gets it going, and he wraps up high.
Second down, 23, gain of 2 on the carry for Plinsky. He'll stay pistol set, now moves a man from right to left, so triplets on the left side. Looking, and he's got pressure, and he's down this time. This time the Cubs line did not let him through.
Tucker. That is Tucker's sixth sack of the season, and he's the one who made the last tackle.
Halftime
Senior.
In St. Paul. St. Paul 52, Clear Springs 20.
Third and 28 for the Indians.
Ball at the 13, and look at this. The Cubs, they're only going with 3 down linemen. They are playing prevent defense.
False start again.
Man, the Osage City Indians have just done themselves no favors at all.
They look a little rattled. They've only had one game this year that was even close, and that was against undefeated Silver Lake, who's definitely a contender for the state title this year.
Always a powerhouse.
Yes. I'd call them a top 8 school every year.
Oh, easily.
So now it's 3rd and 33, Zoll.
Plinsky sends a man in motion. It'll be a handoff trying to find an open field, and he finds a crease and is immediately brought down. There on the carry was Colton Prunty, the senior. This Osage City team has a lot of speed, so the Cubs, they're going to have to hit hard and make sure they wrap up if they want to bring a stop to this Indian offense throughout the night.
And that's something Humboldt has too. I mean, they've went all year with using their speed. That time, Dagan Goodner made the tackle from the middle linebacker position. He had a good angle, made a good tackle along with Speed Hepker.
Two men at midfield anticipating the punt. Snap on the way, and an ugly punt. Reminds me of my kindergarten finger painting that I tried to give to my mom.
That was a 24-yard punt that very well could have been a 5-yard punt. That's how ugly that punt was.
I told you. It's like the one that my mom said, "Oh, yeah, I'll put it up on the fridge, honey," and she never did. So it'll be 1st down and 10. Ball spotted at around the 32-yard line, and the Cubs' best field position all night.
Can you guess who's going to touch the ball here? This is Connor Haviland territory.
Can I get an A? Can I buy an A? So here we go. Goodner has 3 men surrounding him, and it is make that Haviland. Stays up on his feet, gain of close to 7 yards as he approaches the 25-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4 for the Humboldt Cubs.
Yeah, they line up in that bunch formation, and they've got the great big Tucker Hurst in there as the lead blocker. And it's hard to block somebody like him.
It'll be 2nd down now and 3 from the 25. 5:20 to go. No score here in Humboldt. Both teams now on their 2nd possession of the night. Goodner hands off to Haviland, bounces to the outside, and he is wrapped up by a trio of Indians, and he gets enough for the 1st down, moves the chains, and the Cubs inch that much closer to the end zone.
Yeah, they're attacking that middle of the offensive or the defensive line, and then he's kicking it out. A couple games ago, that was a play that really wasn't working for him. So they found something that's going to work here early against Osage City.
5 minutes to go, 1st quarter. Cubs a yard away from the red zone. Goodner has Haviland on his left. And it'll be the quarterback keeping it himself. Had a wide open hole, but there to close it up for Osage City with great speed. Once again, Ryan Smith, the 6'2 junior at 161 pounds.
Yeah, Joe Froggatt was coming around and made a good block to give that hole, but it closed quickly.
Even with that speed, it's still close to a 5-yard pickup, and Cubs are in the red zone for the first time tonight, approaching 4 minutes to go. I formation. Scratch that. That's Goodner in the pistol set. And Haviland
ran into his own man and then just fell.
And New York Jets fans are having nightmares of that play. Now it's 3rd down and 4, only a gain after running into his own lineman. It's ball spotted at the 15-yard line. They have 20 up on the scoreboard. 2 receivers out far left, 2 to the near right.
There's only 1 defender up top.
Oh,
There's
they're
2 receivers.
Stacking them. Goodner. And loose ball. It's going to be picked up by the Cubs. They were trying some trick play there, but it was a bobbled snap from Hurst.
Humboldt's ran that play 12 times this year, and it's worked twice. And most of the time, that's how it ends.
Now they're back to the original 10-yard marker at the 21-yard line, and you're back this deep. Why not go for it?
Yeah, definitely. They've got to see that there's only 1 defender out there and call the timeout and maybe change the play or give the quarterback 2 different plays. When you got 2 against 1 out wide, you got to find something that's going to work. I mean, they had 9 guys in the box.
Hurst to the right of Goodner. 3 receivers far left, 1 near right. Clock rolling to 3 minutes on 4th and 10. Looking deep, he throws it up. He is up and well defended. Great job there in the secondary was Colton Prudy. The senior got his hand in there, knocked it down. Couldn't defend it any better if you're an Osage City defender.
Yeah, that ball hung up there quite a bit. And so I was going to be surprised if he didn't pick that up or pick that off. He had all day. He was just sitting under it. Didn't want the pass interference penalty. Didn't need it.
2nd down, now it's a 1st and 10, 2:56 to go. No score, so both teams having their own issues on their 2nd drive. For the Osage City Indians, it was 3 straight penalties, and now it's their 3rd drive of the ball game. Plinsky drops back, 1 man back deep, 3 receivers far right, 1 near left. And it'll be a handoff to the running back, trying to find room to run. Shucked off 1 defender, but was quickly wrapped up. River Davis on the carry, gain of 3 on the play.
It was really good blocking by the Indians, and then Tucker Hurst just shedded the block right at the right moment to make the ankle tackle there.
I want to give a shout-out to Scotty Too Hottie, watching on YouTube. Scott Ewan out of that's his nickname at the dealership.
That does not surprise me.
Handoff and stood straight up, and it's going to be a 2-yard pickup, which, by the way, Merle Kelly Ford, one of our sponsors tonight for this broadcast. Thank you to the staff there at the dealership, 3501 South Santa Fe and Chanute. Gain of 1, 3rd down, and a long 5.
Osage City got to meet Mr. David Watts on that play. It's not a good idea for most teams to try to run up the middle with this stout defensive line that the Cubs bring.
2 receivers far right, 1 near left. Pistol set. Plinsky looking to keep his offensive drive alive. It's going to be a quarterback rollout near side. It is caught by the receiver. Hauling it in is Crimson Clark, the 5'10 senior.
That was a very good route. And that was really good by Plinsky to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
He's quick enough that he's going to be able to get out there and give himself an extra couple seconds to get that ball out. It's a great play.
1st and 10 with 100 seconds to go here in the first quarter. No score in Humboldt. Not surprised that this one is knotted up at 0-0. Plinsky claps his hands, rolls out. He's going to keep it himself, has a man to block, finds room to run, cuts back inside. He has the first down into Humboldt territory, still on his feet, and makes a man miss before he is thrown to the ground at the 30-yard line. What a run there by Plinsky.
Yeah, that was a great play by a great athlete. It was good blocking to begin with, and then he just outran the defense. I didn't think he was going to be able to get by Connor Haviland there, and Haviland took him down by the neck at the end.
Now 1st and 10, ball at the 30. You can hear the Humboldt crowd trying to get their team fired up, and a timeout. Official timeout.
That's not a timeout.
I was going to say the official.
David Watts is tying his shoe, it looks like.
I was going to say how would you like to be tying your shoe and you have the opponents cheering you on for that? That's pretty good. I've never had that happen to me yet. So now it's 1st and 10 for Osage City. Plinsky at pistol set, drops, rolls to his right, pumps. Oh!
Wide open.
And he is still juking, jiving. It is up and, out through the outstretched hands of Colton Prunty. And brings up 2nd down. What a great play call there. Try to shake up that defense as opposed to lock it in tight.
That was a play where Plinsky's size might have cost him. He had 2 receivers wide open, especially deep down the middle of the field, and he just didn't see them. He ended up getting the pass out and gave the receiver the opportunity to still catch that ball and try to score.
Second down and 10 following the missed pass. Now Plinsky will keep it himself. Oh, no! He tried to hand it. Either way, he was blown up in the backfield. Loss on the play, and the Cubs' defense blitz pays off.
That is Mr. David Watts' 20th tackle for a loss this season. He likes to make his presence known if you try to run up the middle. Now that gives him 3rd and 15 with about 35 seconds left.
2 receivers far right, 1 near left.
That was a big play to give them 3rd and long.
Plinsky dropping back, looking to his left. Dancing, stays in the pocket.
Great blocking.
Man, still light on his feet. Evades 1 defender. Now slings it over across the center. Did he get it in? No, incomplete pass with 12.8 seconds to go, and it brings up 4th down and decision time for Osage City and their head coach, Andrew Gatenberg. Or Gatenbeaton.
Yeah, Plinsky there looked like Tom Brady, just sitting back there shuffling his feet, waiting, and then he used his athleticism and got outside, found a receiver open, just it hit the turf before he could gather it together.
Now this is no man's territory because you're at the 35-yard line. You get a 1st down, you keep the drive alive. If you turn it over, Good field position for your opponent. Crowd, Humboldt Nation, Cub Nation coming to life. Trying to get the Cubs the false start are the Indians, but they get it off clean. Plinsky feels pressure from around, evades 5 defenders. Jukes, jives, pass up, and it is
intercepted by Connor Haviland.
Oh, no.
He should have dropped it.
Yeah. Yes, you got the interception, but
2 men down for the Indians right now. Quarterback is one of them. He is hurt.
Yeah, Plinsky is slow to get up.
He's down with the referee in the sideline. And then the guy in the middle of the field. But Plinsky is hurt. And I heard that he left last week's game, early in the game with an injury and did not return. That would be huge. Everybody take a knee and see what's going to go on here.
Well, while we have this time, we do want to thank our sponsors, including Farm City Days in Iola, who would like to thank their sponsors for making this year a great event. And those include the Rainmaker Jumpstart Travel Center, Barn Raiser, QuickCom Communications, Thrive Allen County, Iola Convention and Tourism, their Harvesters, Allen County, City of Iola, Stout Electric and Mechanical, KIKS, KIOL, MyTown Media, Sonic Equipment Company, Craig and George Abbott, Allen County Farm, Bureau Association, Cox Communication, State Farm Agent Terry Sparks, Iola Register, Walmart, All-in-One Pest Control, and Lawn. As one of their linemen, that is Cole Hill, 5'11 senior, getting helped off and walking very gingerly there on the sideline. Cubs, they were going to get the ball back either way, but as opposed to having it 1st and 10 at the 35, they're going to have it 1st and 10 at their own 15.
Yeah, and it's hard not to catch that. Try to make a play, because if he stays on his feet, Connor Haviland can take it to the distance from anywhere on this football field, and that's probably what he was thinking. But he slid, went down, and that's okay. They got the ball. That way, some fast kid doesn't come in from behind and catch it and get the first down. But 2 key injuries there, and I didn't see him. I was like any other spectator. I was looking where the ball went. We'll monitor that situation.
1st and 10. And Cubs, it'll be a quarterback keeper right up the center to the sideline. 50, 40, 1 man to beat. 25, pushed down at the 20. Dagan Goodner getting it to the red zone.
First-year quarterback Goodner called his own number, had great blocking up front. Taylor Lastman looked like he had a key block, and he found the hole, and then he cut it outside and went to the races.
The only bad thing about that run, you got to switch sides. You got to go back to where you just started from.
Happens every time.
1st and 10 when we come back. No score in Humboldt. It is a 0-0 score. You're watching coverage of Class 2A Regional Football. Humboldt, Osage City, SEKSports.com. Welcome back here in Humboldt, where it is the Cubs and Osage City Indians tied 0-0. Zolt Lopez, David Hart, glad to have you here with us on our YouTube channel, providing streaming coverage of tonight's ball game.
Neither one of these teams have seen a 0-0 first quarter this year. But this is exactly what we thought we were going to see tonight.
You get into that second round, the competition picks up, the level of play picks up, and your margin of error gets slimmer. 1st and 10 following the big Goodner run. Cubs have it deep in Osage City territory, and there's Haviland, splits a pair of defenders, turns the corner, stiff arm, goes in, touchdown! Cubs! That is a 26-yard run, and the Cubs strike first.
Haviland does what he does best. It's a play, it's almost off tackle, and then he sprints it to the outside, and he shucks one defender, and he's just too fast. He was gone. Nice run by Connor Haviland, and a great job by the offensive line.
And now decision time for the Cubs. They look to be going for 2 here.
They have all but 4 times this season. And they've been successful probably 70, 75% of the time.
Coach Wyrick, I should say, gets the play in. Goodner has Haviland in the back. Hurst on the tight end position. And it's going to be Haviland in! 2-point conversion's good. And the Humboldt Cubs extend their lead 10 seconds into the second quarter. 8-0. Back after this quick timeout. You're watching coverage of Humboldt Cub football regional round playoffs on seksports.com. Back in Humboldt, Cubs strike first, 8-0. Zol Lopez, David Hart. And now the Cubs, that looked more true to form from what Cubs fans have seen all year. See if Osage City can strike back.
It all depends. I mean, is Plinsky going to be able to come back into this ball game and at quarterback position and be as effective? It's hard to tell, and if David Watts is the one who got a piece of him there, maybe not.
Crimson Clark on the near right side, and it'll go to the far left side. Short kick around the 32, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Osage City. Well, both teams had their struggles there in their opening drives. Osage City, quick 10-yard attempts, and it was out for them. Cubs couldn't get much going. Then on their second drive, Osage City plagued with penalties. And now on their fourth drive,
who is it? Number 14.
They are looking now to the new quarterback, Gunnar Fort, the 6'1 sophomore, to get them onto the scoreboard. It'll be a handoff. Running back trying to turn the corner, and he stays up on his feet, and a penalty marker is going to come down. That was River Davis on the carry.
I don't know if that was a after-the-fact type penalty, and it might be on – it could be on either team. Because I thought the block was already made. I looked away, and then – they called a holding on Osage City. That is Osage City's 5th penalty of the game.
11:40 to go here in the first half. 8-0 lead.
Osage City does something really well that what Humboldt has done really well all season, and that is they block really good on the outside. And when you can do that with this kind of speed, all you need is one little hole, and you're gone. You're off to the races.
So their new quarterback, Fort, stays in the ball game. It looks like Plinsky might be running there on the sideline up and down, trying to stay loose.
The referees can't figure out where to spot the ball.
Going to be down at the 28-yard line this time.
That looks about where the holding penalty happened at, so I'm not really sure what they called and where it happened there.
Make that 1st and 15. Ball at the 28. Dropping back is Ford. He launches the ball, but it's going to be right at the shoelaces of his intended receiver. That was Derek Cooley.
Here comes Plinsky.
And quickly racing back in.
Probably got a really good tape job. I was wondering, if they were going to be able to throw the ball without Plinsky, and there on the second play, they had the sophomore quarterback sling it out there. 11 minutes.
You look at Plinsky at the quarterback position, and he's just dwarfed by almost everyone there on the field, but yet he plays. He definitely doesn't play like his height. He plays like a big man, and pass on the far side is short, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, a year ago, we got to watch them in Osage City play against Caney Valley.
Mm-hmm.
We broadcasted that game, and he was lined up out of wide receiver, and I looked at you and said, what is this kid doing on this football field? Was 2 plays into the game, and pow, he hit somebody, and I'm like, okay, never mind, he's a football player, that's why.
One man to his right, Plinsky drops back, and he will heave it through the air in motion, and just a bit short, and he's actually lucky that wasn't picked off by the Cubs' Jackson Akins.
Yeah, Jackson Akins was stride for stride, and I was glad that he turned when he did, so he didn't get the pass interference call. That was a great defensive stand by the Humboldt Cubs, early, quick 3 and out.
So 4th down and Cubs will drop 2 back. Haviland and Allen both back for Humboldt. St. Paul up 58-20 in their ball game with 11:18 to go. Here's the punt. Oh, and this one, nice sky-high punt, fair caught.
Get away.
Got to be fair caught at around the, well, bounced down at the 33-yard line. This broadcast of Humboldt Cub regional football action brought to you tonight by Johnson and Schoeninger, PA, Merle Kelly Ford in Chanute, and Farm City Days in Iola. So thank you to them and all of our sponsors for stepping up and helping us cover the rights fees and getting our crew up here.
The Big Biscuit out of Kansas City coming in to help us here, and that was really nice by them.
I'll be honest, I've never had Big Biscuit.
I have. I waited in line 40 minutes in the rain to get in there. Yeah, and it's that good.
First down and 10. Ball spotted at around the 34-yard line. And it'll be handoff to Haviland. Turns the corners. Trucks over a defender. And he's down at around the 42-yard line where it'll be just a yard shy. Second down and 1 for the Cubs. 11 minutes to go in the half.
When Connor went to turn there at the line of scrimmage, there was 3 Osage City guys standing there waiting on him. But that's the deal. They were just standing there. Mm-hmm. And Connor's too fast. He gets around the end and picks up about 8 yards.
Ball at the 42-yard line. Cubs break their huddle.
About 10.5 minutes left in the first half.
Osage City, 4 down linemen. And it will be a handoff to Haviland. Moves off one defender, has 2 defenders in front of him, turns it from 3rd to 4th gear, stays on his feet, and he keeps rumbling down to around the 10-yard line. And he will be at the 10-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cubs.
That was about a 55-yard run by Connor Haviland there. And he found the hole and gets to the outside, and he's hard to stop out there. I thought that Osage City might have something for him out there, and it's hard. I guess he's that good.
It'll bring up 1st and goal from the 10. Cubs taking their time. No rush. They're up 8-0. Have a chance to make this a 2-score game. 10 yards away from doing just that. Goodner hands it off. Oh, and there it again.
Tucker Hurst this time.
Lowering his shoulders.
That's his smallest gain of the season. Usually when he gets it, he gets a full run. And his is our big defensive end here for the Cubs. And usually he gets a good head of steam and just barrels over people. It was a good play by number 72, Osage City. Lane Fager, 6'1" senior, to make the stop. It's nice when we have these schools that have the actual play clock that we can see also.
That does help. 2 receivers near left, 2 far right. Goodner. Hard count. Handoff to Hurst as he does his best impression of a professional football player going up and over. Pickup of 2 extra yards to get him close to the 5-yard line.
Haviland said it's enough of that. He's coming back into the game. He must have needed a breather. So now they have 3rd and goal at the 6.
Clock rolling with 9:20 and counting. Cubs, I would have to think, even if they fall just short, going for
this
on
is
4th
down, yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a fake here and Dagan Goodner keep it himself. This is about his territory where he does that quite often.
How about this? Cubs taking their time, getting back up to the line of scrimmage. And it will be Goodner keeping it himself. And push forward. He's going to be about a yard and a half short. So now decision. Well, there's no decision to be made. No. You go for it.
Yeah, I'd run the same play. Use Tucker Hurst as the lead blocker. But this would be huge for the Cubs to go up 2 scores with 8 minutes left in the first half. Like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, was which team was going to start hot to begin the game.
8:30 to go. And now the Cubs are going to back up. Looks like the officials had to get it placed just right. And now a timeout.
Play clock.
Reset the play clock.
This Humboldt crowd is as loud as I've ever heard it in this nice new bigger stadium.
Feel it rumbling up here in the press box. Handoff in the backfield, trying to follow through, pushing, and he is going to be stopped just a yard shy. Great job by the Osage City defense to sniff that out despite all the blocks ahead.
That's a huge stop for Osage City. You know, the big difference between going down 2 scores. Now, they do have to go the distance, but you've seen the way Plinsky can run and the way he can throw. It's only going to take a play or two to catch Humboldt off guard.
And Osage City, they've had their issues on penalties. They cannot afford one here. Plinsky will roll out.
Call his own number.
And he is wrapped
great
up.
Tackle by Tucker Hurst once again.
Hurst, he was wrapped up there with the offensive lineman Brant Dayhoff. And Dayhoff had him well blocked, but Hurst using his strength to outstretch his arm and bring down Plinsky for second down and maybe half a yard gain. So again, Indians backed up deep in their own territory. Looks like Plinsky giving a last bit of advice on the handoff. Steamrolling ahead, and a gain of 1 brings up 3rd and 8. And Osage City not getting much rumbling here in the second quarter. 7:20 to go. Cubs lead at 8-0.
It looks impossible for the Indians to run up the middle with David Watts meeting them time after time. And this gives a big third down play. If he throws, out of line pass here and somebody makes a play, could be to the end zone.
Now rolling out, Plinsky. He's going to hit that corner. Moves off one defender, but he is folded up at the 8-yard line, and it'll bring up 4th down, and Osage City forced the punt.
Can you believe big David Watts made the tackle on the outside there? He read the play, read the option, and just went straight down the line and made a great tackle. Caleb Klallman missed him again early in the play, and he's going to have to clean that up. The outside is so important in stopping a quarterback like Plinsky.
And the return man only up at around the 30-yard line as the punts have not been clean tonight.
Well, they've been punting really high.
This one still angled. Drop back at around the 38. Return man is Havlin. He'll take it. Sidesteps one defender, and he is brought down for only a gain of 1. 1st and 10 from the 34.
Osage City is well coached by Coach Gentenbahn. I mean, they're ready for their kickoffs, for Humboldt's kickoffs. They've been pooching and kicking short all year. They've been prepared for that. They're punting the ball really high and short because they don't want to deal with Havlin on the returns.
1st and 10. Cubs looking to get their second score of the night. They were stopped at the 1-yard line on their last drive. And it will be a handoff. Havlin stiff arms a man to the ground and lowers his shoulders. What could have been only a 3-yard pickup turns into 5 thanks to the swift move by the ball carrier.
Coronado on the outside had a pretty good block, and he held it for quite a while, but he just ran out of real estate there for Havlin, but picked up positive yards, and that's what you have to do in games like this.
2nd and 6. Ball at the 30-yard line. Cubs taking their time once again, looking to get the call, the play.
I believe they're going to have to start calling Dagan Goodner's number a little bit more on these runs to give Havlin a little bit of a breather.
2 seconds on the play clock, and it'll be a false start most likely.
Better illegal shift.
Oh,
offsides on the defense.
That should be close enough to the 1st down for the Cubs.
6 penalties to 2 tonight, with the Indians having 6. And the penalties tonight have either backed teams up where they've had like 1st and 20, or it's given the teams first downs or close to it. Those are huge in a game like this.
And quarterback once again surrounded. Oh, nice play fake over the center, up and through the hands of the intended receiver, Akins.
That was a great play call. Osage City had 9 players in the box that time, and you're going to have to beat them with a pass like that or even a short swing pass, something. to back them up.
And they had one-on-one coverage there. Looks like on the coverage was Prunty.
And Jackson Akins isn't a real tall feller,
Mm-hmm.
but he made a heck of a play on that and just got his fingertips, but was unable to come down with a catch.
3rd and 1. Ball at the 25-yard line.
5 minutes left in the half.
Goodner snaps, keeps it himself. He's going to get the first down and more. Full steam ahead and a block. Turns the corner. Touchdown. Humboldt.
Holding penalty.
Oh.
It was on the end. Jackson Akins just tried to hold on to that block, and right at the end, he pulled on the jersey. He had a great block, and then he just held on there at the end. Should still be a first down.
St. Paul into the 3rd quarter already, 58-28. High-scoring matchup in St. Paul. Holding against the Cubs, and we'll back them up.
Tucker Hurst had a great block out of the backfield. He come right up the middle, made a huge hole for Dagan to run through, and it was a big penalty there. But like I said, it's still a first down.
How often do you see this?
Last week,
penalty,
I've seen it several times.
A holding penalty that results in a first down.
Well, when it happens on a wide receiver that far down the field, I mean, that's where they back it up from.
That is a solid point. And looks like, man, Haviland had no chance on that one. A massive loss. Almost backs him up to the original first down mark.
Yeah, it looked like number 55, Dane Whalen, just blew right by Froggett, which he's coming out of the ball game for a play. But last week I seen a personal, I think it was a personal foul late hit on the quarterback on 4th down, and it still gave the other team that got the penalty the ball.
Huh.
That's how many yards they were back.
2nd down and 16 for the Cubs following that loss. Goodner rolls out. He's looking down, has a man nipping at his heels, and he brings it down, goes on his own, and it'll be 3rd and 10 at the, let's call it 16, and there's an injured player down for Osage City.
And that was a big play by Dagan, and he learned that play about 2 weeks ago. He rushed himself and threw threw an interception on a play trying to force something, and Coach Wyrick coached him right then and there and was like, just keep the ball. Take the positive yards, and that's what the senior did on that play.
Watching coverage of the Humboldt Cubs regional football action on seksports.com. Zol Lopez along with David Hart.
I want to thank Hometown Floral and Gifts and McReynolds Family Dentistry and Dean Reinhardt Construction for advertising with us tonight to help us broadcast this for the local residents and people in the surrounding towns. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, and we also want to thank as well, helping up here, David Bradbury, who does an amazing job on his articles on the website, and Josh Hart running the camera here tonight. Teamwork makes the dream work, man.
Yep, I believe you're right there.
After the showing that we had in the regular season, it's great to see, knock on wood, things working for us with this new software.
It's a big 3rd and 9 play. You know, Humboldt's been able to come up with big plays, and then they've got these 3rd and longs because of penalties or negative plays. And they've dominated this first half.
So here we go, Cubs. 2 on the near left, 2 on the far right. Rolling out. Oh, and Goodner. He had no chance on that one and pumping up his crowd. Brant Dayhoff.
That was a big sack, and what hurt there was Dagan is left-handed, and when he rolled off to the right, he had nowhere to go. So it was good for him to hold on to the football. He had 2 guys right there in his face. That could have been much worse, but that was a great play by the defense.
And with the caliber of athleticism that the Cubs bring here, even though it is 4th and 22 at the 29, this is a no-brainer going for it.
Humboldt doesn't like to punt, and this isn't really a spot to punt in. There's not a whole lot of reasons to do that, especially the way the defense is played. Just put the ball in the hands of your playmaker.
Goodner, hard count. Now we'll quickly throw it, and now
hooks
it back. Haviland stays up. He's not going to get the first down, but he gets it up to around the 14-yard line. Gains about half of what he needed, which pins Osage City back deep for their next drive with 3:12 to go before half. 8-0 here in Humboldt.
That was equivalent to a pooch punt, if you ask me, and Haviland ran hard on that play. And Humboldt, that's another play that Humboldt's run probably about 6 times this year, and they've been pretty successful at it.
1st and 10, ball spotted at around the 26-yard line. 2 receivers far left, 2 near right.
It's fun calling this game. It's playoff atmosphere. Both crowds are really big in attendance.
And now trying to turn the quarter is the ball carrier as he immediately gets swallowed up by a den full of Cubs. Crimson Clark on the reverse, and nothing there for him.
Number 89, Tucker Hurst, who's a senior for the Humboldt Cubs, did exactly what defensive ends are taught. He held containment, he held it, and then kept Plinsky inside, or this time it was Kenson Clark.
16-yard line, 2nd and 10, 2:30 and counting left to go before half. Dropping back Plinsky. He's looking to his left, and he has a defender. Jukes right through. Passes downfield, and it is, almost caught by Clark. Great defense in the secondary from Haviland to get a fingernail on it to deflect the ball. 3rd and 10, ball at the 16.
That was fingertip away from being a tie ball game. I mean, Connor had to come from probably 10 yards away. He jumped and just got a fingernail on that.
So
that was a play that Plinsky made with his feet and his arm on the same play by avoiding Tucker Hurst on the rush and then getting rid of it, finding it deep.
And I don't think the men up front are getting enough credit in our broadcast for Osage City. That offensive line has done an amazing job of giving Plinsky ample time to stand in the pocket and then dance around, and still, as he even scrambles around, it's almost like they follow him around.
Yeah, their pass protection has been really solid tonight. There was about 2 plays where Humboldt really got in there. But other than that, the offensive line for the Indians has been pretty superb.
3rd and 10, ball at the 16. When we come back, it's 8-0 lead. Zol Lopez, David Hart, SEKSports.com on our YouTube channel. Thank you to those who are watching there. And don't forget to check out SEK-sports.com. Later tonight, we'll have updated scores from area teams. Looks like St. Paul, they're going to represent SEK. And I'll be honest, did not expect St. Paul to get this deep into the playoffs.
Not at the beginning of the season, that's for sure. Have you heard anything about Galena or Pittsburgh Bishop Miege tonight?
No, not yet. I've been actually focusing on this ball game, believe it or not.
Yes, me too. But there's a lot of big ball games in SEK, and that's good, representing in the second round of the playoffs.
3rd and 10, ball at the 16. Now dropping back, Plinsky. Again, excellent coverage, and, head faked a defender. Now throws it over to the far left side, and it
intercepted
is
by Connor
picked off.
They cannot call pass interference on that play. If they did,
penalty.
Everybody was trying to make a play on the ball.
It could go against Osage City.
I don't think so, because Connor was in behind everybody.
Officials having a meeting.
I just don't see how he could make that
sure
call.
either.
He was 10, 15 yards away from it, and it happened. Everybody just jumped up and made a play. They're pointing at Osage City, so Zol, you might be correct. Oh, he called it on Humboldt.
Wow. Wipes out a big interception for the Cubs, and it
on a big 3rd down.
Keeps the drive alive for Osage City. 15-yard, and should be an automatic 1st down. Ball will be settled down at the 30-yard line.
I believe in the second half they'll make adjustments and throw away from Connor Haviland. I mean, if they're going to throw deep like that, they're going to have to find someone else to throw the ball to.
One receiver far left, one receiver near right.
6-4 on first downs in this game. Humboldt with 6, Osage City with 4.
And there the ball carrier, whoa, was dead to rights in the backfield, kept the feet moving, and River Davis somehow makes 1 yard out of nothing, brings up second down. That's just impressive effort there by the young man.
And they're pulling Caleb Clawman out of the game. I mean, that's his third missed tackle tonight, and they're bringing in junior Taylor Lastman, who's a really good offensive lineman. Doesn't play a whole lot of defense, but when he does, plays well. 1 minute and 40 left.
Rolling out to the near side, and nowhere to go. The defender brings him down.
And that is the Cubs' leading tackler, Reed Barnett. He's not very tall, but he's a really good football player. Playing outside linebacker all season. It's a huge 3rd and 10 here with a minute left in the half.
I tell you what, this has been a close ball game. Even though the Cubs have dominated the yardage, they've just had better field position. Now, not to take anything away from
defense.
Goodner and Haviland's big runs.
Yeah, there's been 3 big plays in this game. That ball was tipped at the line.
And it's caught.
Catch and first down.
Osage City, they have 1 timeout remaining, so they're going to hurry up. I wouldn't be surprised they go to a quick type.
It's just like college. The clock stops till they get the chain set, and then they'll start it. And they start the clock.
And it's rolling, 45 seconds. And
a penalty.
Hey, Osage City, to their credit, they've stayed away from the yellow flags. First one in quite a while, it seems.
It's a false start on Osage City. There's been 10 penalties and 11 first downs in this game. The defenses have played really well. Both teams look fairly prepared for each other.
And now ball down, and it is hauled in! How is that possible?
The defender was turned around and never seen the ball coming.
Okay, so that's how it's possible.
Yeah, number 14, Gunnar Ford, made a heck of a play on the ball. We've got 35 seconds left.
1st and 10. Ball at the 30. And now rolling out near side. Plinsky just throws it, chucking it at his receivers.
Tucker
shoelaces.
Hurst made a heck of a dive and grabbed his feet as he was thrown, and he just couldn't have anything on that throw. Now that other side of the line, so it would be the right side of Humboldt's defense, they're not getting any penetration whatsoever on these pass plays. So I wouldn't be surprised if Plinsky doesn't roll out to his side of the sideline on this play so he can try to make a play.
And now rolling out, Plinsky chucks it up, and it's jump ball. Did he hold on to it?
He did.
3 incredible grabs on this drive, in Osage City staying alive, but they're going to have to hurry as it's 1st and 10, 17 seconds to go. And they are right up at the line of scrimmage. They are ready. Plinsky under center. Will he spike it? And he will, to kill the clock. 14.7 seconds to go. David, after it has been a stagnant first half with 50 seconds to go, the Osage City comes alive.
Yeah, and you see this even at the pro level. You're like, why don't these teams run the hurry-up offense more often? Because you know how successful they are, and the defenses back off because they don't want to give up the big play. And Plinsky is the right player here to be able to come up with a score for Osage City. 14 seconds.
And now dropping back, and it is
not getting away from David Watts.
Got 1 timeout left, and with 7.9 seconds to go.
It's a huge play. They've got time for one more play, and Plinsky he can do anything. You can't just play the pass.
Right.
They are going to pass, but you've got to you got to keep him in the pocket.
He's a multi-threat, so it's now third down. Well, they still can conceivably get one more playoff should they not get into the end zone. They have to get into the end zone.
Yeah,
it's either you catch it and go down.
They're not going to run an out pattern. It doesn't do them any good. It gets them closer.
Osage City's quick enough, too, that you could just have an all-go route.
And I did see in warm-ups, they had a place kicker that was able to kick the ball. They might go for the field goal. In playoff football, every point counts. Now, that would be probably a 37-yard field goal, but here they go. They're going to line up with Twins. 7.9 seconds left. The Humboldt crowd is on their feet and screaming.
Defense trying to get them amped up. Plinsky has one man behind him, drops back, rolls.
Great.
Looking, goes up forward, and he is
Tucker
brought down. And that will be the exclamation point on the end of the first half for the Humboldt Cubs. Osage City threatens. Humboldt Cubs shut them down, and it is an 8-0 lead after 24 minutes of play. David, what a first half for both of these teams.
Yes.
Cubs should be up 2 scores, but the stingy defense of the Indians keep it just to 1.
Yeah, and it could possibly be even 3 scores. Humboldt's played the whole second quarter on Osage City's side of the football field, but Osage City tightened the screws when it came down to it on the big plays of holding Connor Havlin and Dagan Goodner at bay. Both teams' defenses have played really good football. I would say both offensive lines have played really good football. There's 0 turnovers. This is playoff football like we expected.
And we do want to thank our title sponsors for making this broadcast possible. They include Merle Kelly Ford in Chanute, Sugar Johnson, PA, and Farm City Days, who would like to thank their sponsors, Jumpstart Travel Center, QuickCom Communications, Thrive Allen County, Iola Convention and Tourism, Allen County, City of Iola, Stout Electric and Mechanical, KIKS, KIOL, MyTown Media, Sonic Equipment Company, Craig and Georgia Abbott, Allen County Farm, Bureau Associations, Cox Communications, State Farm Agent Terry Sparks, Iola Register, Walmart, All-in-One Pest Control and Lawn, Ace Refrigeration, Heating and Cooling LLC, B&W Custom Truck Beds, Dr. Ryan Cofield, DDSPA, Iola Dairy Queen, Dale's Sheet Metal Incorporated, A&W Family Restaurant, Tyson Jelinek Financial Advisor for Edward Jones, Iola Animal Clinic, Sophisticated Rose, Garrican Rentals, Great Southern Bank, Iola Insurance Associates, Iola Pharmacy, Landmark Bank, Monarch Cement Company, PSI Insurance, Utley's Iola Auto Body, Pizza Hut and Taco Bell, Community Health Center of SEK, Ash Grove Cement Company, Russell Stover Candies, Community National Bank, and Bullings Meat Market and more.
Wow. That's a lot.
And believe it or not, we still have 13 minutes till third quarter. So we're going to go ahead and step away for a quick 10-minute timeout. We'll keep the stream going we'll keep the sponsors up there. Want to thank them again for making this broadcast possible. So we'll step away for a 10-minute timeout, and when we come back, we'll get you to start a second half action on seksports.com. Back here in Humboldt, where the halftime score has the Cubs 8-0. Zol Lopez, David Hart, glad to have you here with us as tight ball game between these two 2A schools. Winner looking to advance to next Friday night's matchup. And David, whenever you have had a chance to think about the way the first half went, what stood out to you from both teams?
Pretty good tackling, good defense, and both teams' offensive lines have held up and given their players a chance to make plays. And that's what we've seen. Connor Haviland, he does have 119 yards already rushing, and it just doesn't seem like it, but he had that one big 48-yard run.
Mm-hmm.
And then Polinsky for Osage City, he's everything that I've heard and everything that I was told about him. He's a playmaker. It doesn't matter if he's 5'3", 5'4", or if he's 6'2". The guy, he stands back there, holds his ground, and uses his eyes down the field and makes plays, whether it's with his feet or with his arms. And that last drive, what impressed me was the plays that his wide receivers made on attacking the football and making the catch. You know, and that's both these teams want a chance to play next week.
Yep.
You know, and so both teams are doing whatever it takes to try to advance in the Kansas 2A state playoffs.
Minute 30 left to go. And second half adjustments for both teams. What do you think they are, in your opinion?
Well, Osage City is going to do something to try to take Tucker Hurst out of the ball game defensively.
Okay.
He is the one that's consistently getting to Polinsky. He's got 2 sacks tonight. He came in with 5, I believe. So he's got 2 key sacks, and so that's what they're really going to do. And they're probably going to keep going with 9 in the box and force Humboldt to beat them through the air, which Humboldt hasn't had a whole lot of success doing this year. So that's what I see Osage City doing. Humboldt's going to continue to do about the same thing as they've always done. They might try to get Connor Haviland out on swing passes to get a little the passing game going that way. That is something that they do well. Defensively, I think they're going to do the same. The corners played pretty good football. You can only cover a receiver for so long, you know, and a good quarterback's going to be able to get the ball to the wide receiver. So I thought the corners for Humboldt did really well, considering they haven't seen a lot of passing games this season.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe Humboldt's going to sit tight and just do what they've done well all season long.
And for Osage City, even though it seems like they haven't had much go their way, they've shown the ability to break off big plays, and especially the way that first half ended, the second quarter. Yes, it ended with the sack, but they were back at around the 26-yard line, and they got it pretty close to the red zone. That's the momentum. That's the confidence boost that they need to come out here in the second half. Now, granted, they're going to be on defense, so they're going to need their defense to step up again to keep it just a one-score game. Because this, as we saw last week, this Humboldt Cubs team, if you try to play close, don't get your hopes up too long, because that second half effort is always there.
Yeah, and that's what Osage City has done so far, is they've kept themselves with an opportunity to win the football game. When it looked like, you know, most of that first half was played on their side of the football, with Humboldt almost scoring. But they were, you know, they held them to 1 touchdown, and that's the only team this season that's been able to do that. So what Osage City's done is they've given themselves a chance to win the ball game, and they have a passing attack to go along with that. It could be a very dangerous second half.
So close to about 2 minutes to start here in the second half. Here's some quick scores. I know for those who are watching live, we've got viewers all the way from warm, beautiful Tucson, Arizona, to much chillier and brisk Wisconsin.
Yeah. Humboldt alumni watching out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
So we have Fort Scott trailing Baser Linwood 17-7 at half. Galena leading Frontenac 14-0 at half. Arc City leading Field Kinley Coffeyville 7-6 at half. And I actually did have another score. Oh, St. Paul. St. Paul is just dominating 74-42 with 8:18 left. So still a lot to go in that ball game. Pull up some other ones.
The game's been pretty even with Humboldt having 6 first downs, Osage City having 6 first downs. Penalties, Humboldt with 4, Osage City with 7.
Colgan, 45, Hillsboro 20.
45-20?
Yep. And that's final. And we also have Miege all over Pittsburgh in 4A, 35-13.
That's how a lot of people said that about that ball game was going to go.
I called him crazy. And Parsons right now over Prairie View at half, 18-7.
Wow, that's impressive because
that is.
Prairie View has been handling opponents, and Parsons has been kind of limping along here as of late.
So here we go, getting ready for the start of the second half. We do want to thank our sponsors again. David, I'll let you.
Yeah. We've got the Big Biscuit from Kansas City, Kansas. We've got Dean Reinhardt Construction. Bob Johnson and Shogert, PA. We've got McReynolds Family Dentistry. Hometown Floral and Gifts here in Humboldt.
And Merle Kelly Ford.
Merle Kelly Ford.
Farm
City
Days.
Yep,
yes. Out of Iola. And I've never been to Farm City Days until this year.
You haven't?
Not until this year. I got to do the parade, PA.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
They got a good crowd.
They do. They do a good job over there. I was forced to go a couple times. My daughter was in the parade, so I really needed to be there. And so I've enjoyed it a few times myself.
So here we go. Humboldt with an 8-0 lead to start the second half. They will get the ball back. I have a trio back there set to receive. And Osage City, they're out here. They're jumping up and down. They look fully warm. It's about this time of the year that I miss the pads the most. Being warm underneath. I didn't play a whole lot. I was always on the sideline trying to stay warm.
Great kickoff.
And it's going to be back fielded by Aikens as he comes up to the 20, gets a block, pair of defenders, and a third one comes in to pin him to the ground. And it's going to be 1st and 10. Ball at the 26 of Humboldt with 11:54 to go in the third.
Yeah, that could have ended a lot differently. Jackson isn't a real tall guy, and he caught the ball actually kind of behind him. You know, a lot of times when receivers or your returners try to do that, they let go of the football. So let's see what Humboldt does to start off the second half on offense.
Ball spotted at the 26. 2 receivers far left, 1 receiver near right. Pistol, Goodner. And it'll be a handoff to Haviland. And Haviland kind of had to do the legwork there as he got stood up. Great one-on-one tackle for him. And that's not Haviland, excuse me. That is Shannon on the carry.
No, that was.
Oh, it was?
That was Connor.
Oh, okay. I saw 21.
Yeah, number 20.
11:30 to go in the third. 8-0 lead, Cubs.
The Osage City defenders all cut down on the offensive lineman there to make a little pile up, and that's how you stop the run up the middle.
And it will be a handoff. Haviland, penalty. This one's going to be coming back. Great run, though.
In the spot of a hold. It was away from the play, too. It was one of them ones that didn't need to happen.
And holding's going to be called against the Cubs.
And that's not a way to start the second half. It's going to give them second and really long.
We'll keep marching it back.
Second and about 16. Maybe almost 17. And see, those kind of downs and distances are against the Cubs because that forces them to at least think they need to pass.
Right.
You know? Heck, I run the same play. You know?
2 receivers far left, 2 near right. Now dropping back. Goodner. And just, it's picked off right in the air. Oh, goodness!
Number 20, River Davis, read the swing pass that I told you Humboldt was probably going to go to. And that's one of them deals where Goodner is just too quick to get rid of the football. And River Davis made him pay. And Osage City gets on the scoreboard for the first time with 10:45 left in the third quarter.
He just picked that right out of the air. What a play. Wow. And now.
That was a good football play.
That was. I'm still in disbelief. And Osage City, they're only going to go for the extra point attempt unless perhaps some trickeration.
They have a pretty good kicker.
Timeout. Oh, wow.
Plinsky is the holder who called timeout, and he was down on a knee, and he was looking back at the kicker, so I'm not sure what he's seen that caused him to call the timeout.
Yeah, you'd hate to burn a timeout in a close ball game on 1 point.
On an extra point, yeah.
So we'll go ahead and keep it here on SEKSports.com YouTube channel.
What a way to respond for the Osage City Indians.
That's a jump start.
They get a penalty on the Cubs that puts them back second and long, and then they come out and just snatch the ball and run it in for a pick six. That quieted the Humboldt crowd big time.
And now they're still going to go on for that extra point attempt.
I think Polinsky counted and they had too many men or not enough men on the field is what called him or got him to do that.
Now here's the ball, and
That's
here's
a trick.
roll out. And Plinsky will swing it
throwback.
back around, and it'll be picked up by the Cubs.
Very well read. I wonder if they've seen that on tape because everybody stayed home.
Yeah.
Where most high school teams on a play like that, they're going to be all over the place.
No one panicked. So the Cubs stay calm despite the pick six. It is a 2-point lead for Humboldt. 10:45 to go. Back in 30 seconds here on SEKSports.com.
Osage City looks like they have about 200-300 people that have made the trip.
Yeah, there's been a good crowd out here in Humboldt. Osage City, Humboldt Cubs, a 2-point game now following the River Davis pick six from around the 20-yard line. They tried for the trickeration and failed as it was picked off by the Cubs secondary. And Aikens back to receive the kickoff. Cubs looking to respond with the turnover.
Well, it's big to see how Dagan Goodner's going to respond to that. And we'll get to see on the first play of the drive.
Now this one booted.
This is a good kicker.
Aikens going to take it at around the 6, up to the 15. Cuts to the near side at the 20, stays on his feet, cuts back in, and he's going to be
They called the face
down.
mask penalty big time, so that will give them give them the ball closer to midfield. I seen Jackson's head just snap back as he was going down.
Ow. 10:37 to go in the third.
He looks to be okay on the sideline there.
I'm not. That hurts my neck.
Personal foul, face mask against the Indians.
Face mask is the call.
So tack on 15 at the end of the run. I always liked those yellow flags. They're so much fun to make. I remember my Spanish teacher over at Lebec County High School, he had one. And anytime there was a student that wouldn't quit talking, he'd take the flag out and he'd throw it at their desk. Now, in today's world, probably he would get sent to the principal's office for that. But back then, you knew you were in trouble when the yellow flag came out.
We've got Riley Herder watching the game in Seattle, Washington.
Wow. I wonder if you got anyone in Anchorage, Alaska. 1st and 10, ball at the 42. Goodner, pistol, keeps it himself, and he is wrapped up from behind. He had no chance at all. Loss of 2. That is
Osage City has made some adjustments, and they are going to attack that middle of the offensive line of the Humboldt Cubs. So now it's going to be chess. What is Humboldt going to do to counter that?
Brant Dayhoff gave Goodner no chance at all to escape the pocket. He was so quick. He was unaccounted for on the edge. Now approaching 10 minutes to go.
My brother thinks alike, like I do, and we both said it's time to Humboldt to pull the option play back out.
2nd and 13, and it will be Goodner keeping it himself. Pick up a 4, 3rd and long. This offense seems a little sluggish coming out of the locker room.
Well, it's the Osage City Indians are making plays. They really are. Like you said, which team's going to make some adjustments, and that's what they've done. They're attacking the middle of that defense because that's where Humboldt got all their yards.
Osage City's crowd, they're up making some noise.
This is a big down, 3rd and 9 for the Humboldt Cubs, and they don't like this. They don't like 3rd and long. They need 3rd and shorts.
Everyone looking at the play bands. 10 seconds on the play clock. Indians flash blitz, and they will bring it. Goodner turns the corner and swallowed up by a trio of Indian defenders. He had no chance there, and he's hobbling as he gets up a bit, trying to shake off because he had 3 white jerseys land on top of him. 4th down.
And they ran the option twice this game, and it's both been on 3rd and long. So Osage City was ready for it, and they didn't just have 1 or 2 guys there. They had 3 guys, and they were ready to take down Deacon Goodner. So Tucker Hurst will go for his 2nd punt of the night.
Woo! Oh! And no penalty for running into the kicker.
Fumble! Ball's on
loose.
the ground, and it looks like Jackson Akins might have recovered that. Yes, he did, and that will give the Cubs great field position at about the 19-yard line. What a play by little Jackson Akins.
But back there is Tucker Hurst. And he's saying, hey, guys, thanks, but my knee.
He took a hit and no call,
Yeah.
as in roughing the punter.
The Cubs turn 4th and 12 into 1st and 10 following the botched punt.
Humboldt has to get some type of points on the board here, and they do not like to kick field goals, so I'll just say it. They need to score a touchdown. They need points out of this drive.
Their last drive of the first half stalled at the 1 of Osage City, and this time it is Haviland rumbling, bumbling through the defense for an 8-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and actually 9 yards. 2nd down and 1 at the 10.
Haviland, when he gets a run of steam, man, he's dangerous, and he shed 3 tacklers off of him to get those 9 tough yards. This is where Humboldt likes it, short distance. 2nd and 1 is right where they want to be.
$7:50 to go, and it will be a handoff, and a flag will come back in, and goodness. Scratch that, make that Haviland. He got grabbed from behind on the jerseys and was thrown to the ground for the loss, but wait and see what the call is.
I wish the referees had a microphone so we would know who the penalty was on.
I want to give a shout-out to Griffin Voorhees, watching the game from Camp Louisian, North Carolina.
Humboldt alum.
Corey Linton.
It's on face mask on the defense. Wow. Did not see that coming.
Corey Linton.
That'll be half the distance to the goal.
Out of Osage City area, watching on the YouTube stream. And Steve
nice to
Hollingsworth.
have you, Corey. Steve Hollingsworth is another alumni from works over at KOAM.
I'm shocked at how many Humboldt alum are over there at Television City.
An undefeated Humboldt team in the playoffs. Everybody knows about it, and they're following it because of Facebook and Twitter. Everybody knows now that SEK Sports has got all the local coverage.
7:42 following the face mask penalty.
1st and 7.
1st and goal from the 7, Shotgun. Receiver on each side of Goodner. Man in motion. It will be Goodner keeping it himself. Creases through defenders.
Touchdown.
Pushes. Good. Touchdown.
Earlier I said in the game, when they get inside that 10-yard line. Goodner really likes to call his own number, and it's good. I mean, he's a powerful runner, and what he did well there is he kept the ball high and tight. They couldn't rip it out, and he crosses the goal line to give Humboldt Cubs their second score of the game.
14-6, and the Cubs are going to go for 2, which this makes it a 2-score game if they convert. Actually, it's a 2-score game irregardless.
The only time Humboldt has went for just the extra point kick this season were in games where they were up by 50-plus. And so it's just not something Coach Wyrick likes to do.
Man in motion, and it'll be a handoff. Trying to turn the corner.
Penalty.
And penalty flag down on the far side.
Probably a block in the back or a holding. It looks like the referee pointing towards Humboldt, so that means the point will be no good. Still with an 8-point lead, Humboldt did exactly what they needed to do. They got the turnover, and they capitalized with some power running by Connor Haviland and Dagan Goodner. Up 14-6 with 7:35 in the third quarter.
All right, we'll go and give a thank you to our sponsors back here for the kickoff. It is 7:35 to go. Cubs still up 14-6 here on SEKSports.com. Back here in Humboldt, where the score 14 Cubs, the Osage City Indians 6, 7:35 to go. Back and forth ball game after Osage City on the opening drive of the Cubs to start the second half, pluck it from the air and able to turn it into 6 on the board. Cubs use a fumbled punt, short field position to get 6 on the board. And this one going to be short kick.
That's what they like to do. They want the ball on the ground.
Up to the 20, trying to turn, and still staying up. There's the wrestling move.
Wow.
Single leg takedown, turn to a double leg takedown. Crowd surfing. Ball's going to be stopped marked at the 23. That's where we're going to say the forward momentum was done. Collision with the deer, regardless of your make and model of vehicle, go see the Merle Kelly Ford Body Shop. Derek, he's not working any games tonight?
No, he's not. This is his first week off.
Wow. And this will be a handoff. Osage City, the runner picks up 3, but boy, was he stuck.
There was a great big hole, and David Watts closed it in a hurry. And when he hits you hard.
St. Paul with their 80-50 win. And Colgan with the massive win over Hillsboro earlier tonight. Right now, Humboldt trying to be the third SEK team into the next round. They have a 14-6 lead over Osage City.
Humboldt did make a change, and they've got Tucker Hurst on the inside again.
Oh, goodness, they bring the blitz, but somehow Plinsky's able to squeeze out of it. What would have been a massive loss is no gain or loss for Osage City. Humboldt brought the entire linebacking core right at him on there.
Yeah, that was a different look. A little confusion on the Humboldt defense. I think they get it figured out there.
Ball spotted at the 35. This young man, Plinsky, is just so much fun
Humboldt
to watch him play.
Running a 3-man front. So I think there might be a little confused here on the Osage City offense.
Dropping back. Plinsky has a huge lane and finds a man.
He will use that play again later. It was wide open. He just kind of panicked, and he had to throw across his body a little bit there. So this gives them 4th and long, but I believe they'll go for it.
You got 4:29 to go in the third. Lot of ball game left.
Humboldt hasn't went the distance.
I think you got to play field position here. You don't have to go for points. Don't chase points. Play for field position. But then again,
you have Plinsky on your team.
Exactly. And here goes Plinsky again. Moves through one defender.
What a great break on the ball by Jackson Akins. A great play. He was 5 yards off of that, read Plinsky's eyes, and made a great break and tipped the football right in front of the receiver to give the Cubs the ball back.
Wow. 14-6, turnover on downs. Cub get it at the 35-yard line. Excellent field position. And once again, Osage City have run out of
We didn't hear
time.
Jackson Akins' name called too much in that first half, if any at all. He's made 2 to 3 great plays already early in this third quarter.
Now, going to be a rollout. Goodner looking, and he evades one tackle, keeps it himself as he picks up 5, maybe 6 on the carry, where it'll be second down and 5 from the 40.
I really think that he was told that was an actual run play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but they wanted it to look like a pass play just to set that up, to make Osage City at least try to play the pass a little bit. Plus, that gets Goodner a little good going after the interception earlier. Either way, it was a good 6-yard gain. And they have to give the ball to somebody other than Connor because you don't want a team like this just to be able to key on one player.
Goodner, pistol set, 14-6. And
looked like a false start to me on the left tackle.
I'm going to say pretty much everyone. It looked like he wasn't the only one. You had Hurst also along with Johnson on the near side. They all jumped. So miscommunication cost the Cubs 5 yards for second down.
I've got 5 penalties down for these teams combined already early in this third quarter.
I believe it.
And we don't want to see that. I know the coaches definitely don't. But you're going to win this game by playing good, sound football. Because both teams, they look evenly matched.
Second down and 9. Handoff to Haviland, spearing his way through the heart of the defense, down at the 40. Gain of 5, or it is going to be third down and 5.
The Osage City Indians have realized you cannot try to tackle Connor Haviland up top, and now they are shooting at his feet to bring him down. And that gives Humboldt a 3rd and 6, which is manageable. Be interesting to see the play call here from Wyrick. 3:20 left in the third.
2 receivers far left, 2 near right. And it'll be the quarterback keeping it himself and swallowed for a gain of 4. He's going to be a yard shy.
Yeah, it was a good play call.
That front D-line of Osage City is just every bit as good as that offensive line for the Indians.
I believe you have to punt the football here. The way Tucker Hurst has been punting the football, I would definitely do that here. He's making some changes, and with Haviland coming out on 4th down, they're going to call a timeout.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised to see David Watts get the ball handed to him either. So anything could happen here.
We want to thank our title sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Johnson Schoengert PA, along with Merle Kelly Ford and Farm City Days out of Viola. Big thank you going out to them for making this broadcast possible, helping pick up some of the rights fees and the like. 4th down and 2, ball at the 43, 2:38 to go. This has been an exciting third quarter. It started off with the Cubs' opening drive picked off for a 20-yard run by River Davis. And then the Cubs, they were able to take the fumbled punt by Osage City, the fumbled punt return, for a short 20-yard touchdown run by Goodner.
This play call has me a little worried. So Coach Wyrick, sometimes he's one of the most aggressive coaches I've ever seen. And I really think you need to punt the football here, but I just don't think it's in his blood to do that. So this could be a really big play for the Humboldt Cubs and for the Osage City Indians. They get the ball right here the way they were able to move the ball on the last possession. They might be looking to get to the end zone again.
So we're going to call it 4th and 1.5.
And they put big David Watts in the backfield.
Here we go.
They know
the
this
fridge
on tape.
The fridge.
They've got 9 guys in the box.
Goodner's going to keep it, rolling it.
And the pass is open, and he got it to Coronado for a 57-yard touchdown for the Humboldt Cubs. What a great play call by that aggressive coach I was talking about.
Wait a minute. No. You don't get to sit there with, I don't know. And then, yeah, that's what I was talking about. No, I'm calling you out on that one. You deserve that one.
Yes, I do. Him and I are two different styles of football, but that was a really good play call.
But you know what? That was an even better play by Goodner because he had a Osage City defender in his face all the way through, even as he released the ball.
And he did something that I told you earlier, that he was needing to work on and get better at. And he held onto the ball a little bit and let the receiver get open and then let it go. And on a 4th down big play, you could see him in a panic mode. They're lining up to kick the football.
And they're not up by 50. Ball down up. A little trickeration, and Goodner double trickeration.
Oh, what a great
grab!
play by Connor Havlin.
Are you serious? Whew! Suddenly, I've got heart problems at the age of 33.
I do not understand how that isn't called down when the holder catches the ball with his knee down. I don't think he quite got up quick enough, but
that was amazing as the trick play got it over to Goodner. Goodner rolled out and then tossed it to Havlin. And Havlin, with, I believe, his right hand, his right fingertips, spun the ball end over end, and then the left hand came back around and finished it off. And even if you're an Osage City fan, you got to appreciate that athleticism play, making ability, or just that stroke of luck.
So far, other than, every score in this game has been on huge plays. Whether it was the turnover with Jackson Akins on the punt earlier, or the long runs by Connor Havlin early in the game, or the interception by Osage City for their touchdown. I mean, it's been great big plays coming up from kids that are just trying to help their team win.
Mm-hmm. Now Clark and Plinsky are both back. And again, we talked about it there at halftime where the Cubs, they turned it on in that second half against Wellsville. And it looks like they are about to do the same in the second week in a row. As the ball carrier sidesteps one defender, but then a
Taryn Johnson with the tackle.
Trio of Cubs, Johnson in on there to finish it off. It'll be 1st and 10, ball at the 29-yard line. 2:20 left to go here in the third. Zol Lopez, David Hart, SEKSports.com, bringing you this coverage of the Humboldt Cubs, Osage City Indians. And now, you were saying it, and I thought it was a bit premature. You really felt that drive last for the Indians was a must-have. For me, this is
points.
This is it right here. Because not only is you're talking about momentum, but points as well. You got to keep it within one score.
There's only 2 minutes left in this quarter.
And now, nice flick pass up over, now 45. And Plinsky's pass is complete to Clark. Those 2 young men just returning the football not long ago and got it up to the 45-yard line.
Osage City continuing to do what they've done in the second half, and that's just the short out patterns or swing passes.
Plinsky looks like he's in empty backfield. And he will roll to his right. Has a man on a bootleg. Turns it. And it's going to be close to a first down. That's Prunty. We haven't called his name in a while. Called it a lot in the first half. Or first quarter specifically. Not much, though, here in the second. And now almost in the third. That's the first catch of the quarter for him.
Prunty is the second leading yard yardage getter for the Osage City Indians after Plinsky. So he's been a playmaker all year for them.
Look at this. Osage City staying empty backfield. Plinsky drops back, looks to his left. Now quickly over to his right. Throws it in there. Throws a dart. And
still on his feet.
Goodness. Making some plays happen. And he's going to have a long way to go.
Still going.
And he stays up at the 40. Great athleticism. That was on the run. Colton Prutti, and he is slow to get up. But I have to think that's more of just being winded because
tired. But there's a man down.
Went sideline to sideline. What looked to be stop of forward momentum turned into being loss of on the play, and then turned around into positive yardage for about 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4 at the 38-yard line.
And see, Humboldt would like to go probably with another defensive back and pull one of them linebackers out, but I don't think they have the personnel to do that. That's what a lot of the folks in Humboldt have talked about even before the season started. Is this team's talented, but they're not as deep as like a team a year ago was, where man goes down, you can just plug another one in. But this team just doesn't have that depth, so they need to really try to figure out this short passing game with the linebackers they are using.
Olpe all over Pleasanton, 52-8. 2 minutes left in the 4th.
That doesn't surprise me a whole lot. I mean, Pleasanton, they've had a good year, season. But Olpe, I believe, is going to win the 1A title this year. That's my pick anyways.
2nd down and 3, ball at the 38. Three receivers on the far right, 2 on the near left. Plinsky back in the ball game. Oh, bobble. Wow!
That's not a kid.
Oh!
It was a good try.
Oh! Crimson Clark made a fantastic focused effort in bringing in that pass. He just happened to have one cleat out of bounds.
It was almost like he was juggling it. He kept his eyes on the ball, and he wasn't it was just soft tapping it. You know?
If he keeps it to one tap, it's in. But the
3rd down,
Plinsky will keep it. He has a big gaping hole and wrestled down. It'll be enough for the 1st, but that offensive line, they're giving him enough lane to run through that he could push me in a wheelchair through it.
That's going to be there the rest of the game because the defense is setting up to cover the outside pass 5 yards deep. So the middle of the field is going to be wide open. All they have to do is get one blocker on Dagan Goodner, and that middle is going to be wide open.
Empty backfield, 3 wide on the right, 2 on the near left, and it goes to the far right side. Pass is complete to Reed Crawford.
They're playing a soft zone here, and they really need to go man-to-man and make them beat you coverage-wise. Because Plinsky, he's already shown he's going to sit back there and wait till the receiver finds the open area, and they're just going to continue to march down the field.
Timeout called on. No, excuse me. It's going to be a official's timeout. It's going to be close. They have it marked as a 1st down, and now they're going to bring them out.
What I really enjoy here for Osage City is
this is a no-doubter.
Is watching their coach. Their coach is very good football minds. I mean, the adjustments they've made throughout the game, how they were already prepared for certain aspects of the Humboldt game. Then the counter by Coach Wyrick.
Yeah, these two head coaches have definitely scouted each other all week. I can't recall that a game in which both teams were ready for each other's trick plays. Now following the 1st down, Plinsky will throw it on the sideline. Has it. Ball comes up.
It's intercepted by, it looked like that was Reed Barnett, who leads the team in interceptions out of the linebacker position. Another big play for the Humboldt Cubs.
That bobble costs Osage City excellent field position. And not only that, but an opportunity to potentially get points up on the board. That
That's 2 possessions in a row that Plinsky and the Osage City Indians have marched down the field at will just to have the Humboldt third quarter.
That just, wow. Wow.
You know, and everybody wanted to know what was Humboldt going to do when they finally had a game that somebody had punched them in the mouth and make it tough on them. They're responding well.
Oh, bobble by Goodner. Picks it up. Finds room to run. Up on his feet. Up to the 12-yard line. Gain of, let's call it 6. As we are in the final minute of play here in the third quarter. It is Humboldt up 22-6.
Yeah, Goodner kind of mishandled the snap there, but the ball bounced down and straight back up into his hands, and he calmly just took the ball for about 7-yard gain. 34 seconds left in the quarter. They do have to run a play with only 17 seconds left on the play clock.
Now will be a handoff. Keeps going, and going to be up to around the 16-yard line. Enough for the first down for the Cubs. So
I don't understand why the clock is stopped.
They signal first down.
In the third quarter, they still do that? The clock?
Well, it always stops once you get the first down.
I thought that was only in the last 2 minutes of the
it's
half.
Through the whole, yeah. No. We're good. Now they start the clock.
And that will be the end of the quarter.
Yeah, Cubs are in no rush at all to get back to the football with a 22-6 lead here in the third quarter. And what an exciting quarter it's been. A lot of tricks, momentums, and we still got a quarter to go. We're going to be back after this 1-minute timeout. Thank our sponsors. You're watching coverage of 3A regional football action, Osage City at Humboldt on SEKsports.com. Back here in Humboldt, where the Cubs switch sides with the Osage City Indians. Cubs lead it 22-6. Zol Lopez, David Hart, SEKsports.com. Exciting ball game. It's been tight, just as we expected.
Yeah, and when I said a commanding lead a while ago, what I meant was
they've got momentum.
Humboldt's they've been kind of really holding on and dominate where the ball's at. But with Trevor Plinsky in this passing game, they can come back at any time.
And there's Goodner. Goodness through the center. Goes through the secondary. And it'll be down at around the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Cubs as he has some breathing room.
That was a 31-yard run, it looked like. Another big play by Goodner in the running game. Changes the field position again. You know, That's what we've continued to talk about, is the field position game. It's been in Humboldt's favor most of the ball game. Osage City is making it tough on the Cubs' running game, though. They're not being able to just do this at will.
2 receivers far right.
That's Connor Havlin at the quarterback position.
Oh, lowered his shoulders again, plowing through 4 defenders, including his own man.
You cannot tackle Connor Havlin high. And those 3 defenders tried to do it, and they all ended up on their back.
I've got a headache watching him lower his head like that. Oh. And whenever he hits you, it's not just some hit you with just brute strength. He hits you with strength and speed.
Oh, yeah, he's one of the fastest guys you'll see in high school football. And then when he's got that power, when they try to tackle him high, it's not good for the defender.
Osage City really needs to get a stop here.
Connor Haviland again at the quarterback position. I wonder if Dagan Goodner is okay. He's on the sideline. And they did this last week at the end of the game because Dagan had a stinger.
Now Haviland. Looking like
Goodner continues to stay on the sideline.
he's definitely deserved a breather, that's for sure, even all else fails. Gail Clements watching all the way from Texas tonight.
I thought she lived in Iowa.
At this point, we just need to make a USA graphic and have people check in.
Oh, the ball's on the
loose,
ground.
and it bounces back to the Cubs. And still staying up there.
Connor Haviland.
The
way that referee
saying thank you to those.
Still didn't lose that many yards.
Well, it's now second down, and
they still got first down on the marker.
Yeah, that's right. One's got
first and 22.
Yeah, first and 22. So Osage City getting some breaks finally their way here in the ballgame. Ball's loose, but picked up and
There's
then
that
drilled.
Play again.
Man.
There's that same play again.
And
they've got to quit running that. Put the ball on the ground.
Osage City defenders there on that front line, I mean, they are hitting almost just as hard as the Cubs defenders are, which reminds me of wrestling. I mean, Humboldt is a wrestling school.
Who is?
Humboldt.
They're trying to be. They are trying to be. They've got a couple good wrestlers for sure, but they're building that program slowly.
And Osage City, the way that they hit just reminds me so much of that.
Neither team is quite ready to have their season end yet.
Humboldt, Goodner rolls out, has a defender, quickly gets rid of it, and outstretched! Brought in.
Oh, and a late flag.
Penalty.
A late flag.
I wonder if this one might be taunting.
That could be a mouth, somebody saying something wrong, or
it's going to be caught, which I didn't think.
If they had replay, they probably wouldn't call that a catch.
That was
looked like it might have hit
the
the
third
turf.
amazing play we've seen from the Cubs. And the white hat backing up. So after the play, personal foul
on Osage.
Wow,
big time penalty.
I don't know if that's an automatic first down, but we'll be definitely close to the yard marker as we are under 8 minutes to go in the ball game. And
that should give them a first down.
It'll be close. Maybe by a dimple.
It's where my age catches up with me, and I can't quite see that far. The ball looks like it's right on the 15-yard line, and they are going to give them the first down.
Well, Phil Kinley, they are eliminated from the postseason with a 28-6 loss to Ark City. So congratulations to Coffeyville on a great season.
Humboldt with a first down with under 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter at the Osage City 15-yard line. They've used a lot of tough runs this second half to gain their yards.
And it will be Haviland.
The end was there to turn him. Some adjustments the Osage City Indians have made in the second half.
Didn't have a whole lot of real estate to run to.
Positive yards. That's what both teams are looking for.
Well, and especially Humboldt, just keep the clock rolling. Because now you're in the driver's seat. You're 7 minutes away from the next round and continuing to build on the best record in school history. 9-0. Only time that the Cubs have been undefeated was back in the 70s, wasn't it?
In 92, doesn't walk.
Shove in the back.
You can do that. Anyways, that's what the call is.
This is a must-score drive for Osage City. You're down 30-6. You're down 24 points. You're not out of it yet, but your margin for error is razor thin.
Yeah, and Osage City, they can't really dink and dunk a whole lot. They can a few plays here and there, but they've got to look for a big score from Plinsky.
Now rolling out Plinsky.
David Watts on the
Whoa!
attack.
Made a miss, and then
Another
he
wide-open receiver.
First, and now he's going to cut inside. Close to a 16-yard pickup. Great play by Plinsky. Throwing it to his receiver, Gunnar Fort. Who was the the quarterback while Plinsky was out.
So here they go in the hurry-up offense again. And most of these Humboldt guys are playing both ways, so they're going to have to catch their breath, maybe with a timeout. Not yet, but here in a little bit.
And only 2 timeouts remain for both teams. Plinsky will roll out to his right, has a lot of real estate to work with, and now he just heaves it up, and it is
intercepted. Was that Jackson Akins again? No, it wasn't. It was Kyler Allen, senior Kyler Allen. Plinsky he put way too much air on that, forced it, and he kind of had to. He had the rush coming, forced it, and there was 2-3 Humboldt Cub defenders there waiting on it.
He's a talented enough of a player that even as a coach, the result wasn't what you wanted, but you trust him making that play.
Yeah, and he's done it for the most part in this ball game. But when they have to go deep, and Humboldt really knows that, they can't dink and dunk anymore. There's under 6 minutes left in the ball game, and you're down by 24 points.
1st and 10, ball on the 7, and Humboldt, they can get this close to about the 3:30 mark, or actually just under the 4-minute mark.
Humboldt, me knowing Humboldt, they're going to try to score again.
Right. That's been their MO all season. I mean, against the game with Jayhawk Lynn, they crushed it.
Yeah.
74, 75 points.
73-0.
And they have made no qualms that they are going to flex their offensive muscle.
Yeah. In a game like this with Osage City having the passing offense that they do, here I don't blame them. I mean, and they're going to do it on the ground. It's not like they're still throwing up 30-6.
Now it's going to be rolling out Goodner, and a penalty comes in.
That could be multiple things there. There was a defender on the ground, which usually means holding. Against the Cubs, it is. Humboldt has now matched their penalties from last week, at least the number of penalties. They haven't had the big yardage personal fouls that they did a week ago. Osage City needs a big turnover to keep them in the ball game here, or at least give themselves a chance. With Plinsky and his receivers, I'm not calling this game over yet, even with under 5, down by 24. No time to get cute anyway for the Cubs.
And Haviland was initially tripped up at the line of scrimmage, but reached forward for an added yard. Now we hit the 4:30 mark. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Cubs up 30-6. Next round of this ball game, I believe they will have to go on the road.
Humboldt will have to go on the road no matter who wins the other game. Atchison, Mar Hill is further east than us. And then Rossville has had one less home game in the playoffs than Humboldt.
30-6. 3rd down and 10, and the Cubs are going to keep it then. It's going to be Goodner as he gets hit low and then from behind and smacked down to the ground for a gain of 3.
A player the caliber of Trenton Plinsky for Osage City, I am really surprised that Humboldt's defense has not allowed them to score. Plinsky's offense has not scored a single point in this ballgame. Their only score was the great defensive touchdown by River Davis on the interception of Dagan Goodner that he took to the house. And I'm very impressed with the defense of the Humboldt Cubs.
Now, I'm not completely sold that Osage City's done on this, because we saw how they ended that first half and how quickly the offense got going. They're capable of doing something like that again.
It was a 44-yard punt by Tucker Hurst. Yeah. And with the Humboldt crowd, you can tell they feel like this game's over. There's some people leaving, and then they're pretty quiet. Yeah, and they're pretty quiet.
30-6. going to be 1st and 10. Ball at the 46-yard line. And again, we can't thank our sponsors enough for making this broadcast possible, because we got rights fees and travel costs and things like that. And so big thank you to them for making it possible. Now bringing it down as Plinsky as he gets a man on the sideline. And again, one of those passes that go on the sideline and it's popped up. This time, instead of staying straight up, it goes 2 receivers near left, 1 far right.
It is very quiet here at B&W Field.
That time stuck. Haviland still in the ball game. I know that's their MO, but
their backup running back is out for the year. He got hurt 2 weeks ago.
You don't have a freshman you could bring up?
No.
I mean, I would think as a coach, this isn't where you want your starters to be, especially now that you're pretty much all but assured going into the next round of the playoffs.
This is very exciting for the Humboldt Cubs. This will be the furthest that I can ever remember them making it in the playoffs. They're going to the final 8. Tucker Hurst with a good, powerful run. Gives them another first down.
That'll be 1st and 10, move the chains, and really that should be enough for the Cubs to do it, as long as Osage City doesn't call any timeouts. They had their opportunity, so
I think they're done for the evening.
Osage City's a haul. We drove it last year. So Cubs looks like they're going to line up in victory formation and put this one on ice. Osage City will drop to 8-2 on the year to finish their season, whereas the Humboldt Cubs improve to 10-0. Impressive 10-0.
Yeah, they have. This is the closest ball game they've had since, week 2. That is going to be the ball game. All they have to do is knee down. I want to thank all the viewers.
All 10 of them
trusting
that are left.
us. Yeah, for trusting us to cover your high school sports team.
Yeah. So it is 30-6, our final score here in 35 seconds, as the Humboldt Cubs will advance to the sectional round of the 2A state football playoffs. And we got to be sure to thank our crew out here for doing a great job running the cameras and getting us out here and getting us on air and making us sound good. We want to thank David Bradbury making the trip all the way from Uniontown, and Josh Hart running the camera, doing a great job tonight. So there you go, your final score. Humboldt 30, Osage City 6. Humboldt is your regional champion, and now they await the winner for next week. On behalf of everyone who made this broadcast possible, I'm Zol Lopez saying you've been watching SEKSports.com coverage of Class 2A Regional Playoff Football. Good night from Humboldt.